Hello, my Teaserking family. Sorry about that. Well. Let's look at our gold. Gold, 26.58. They tried to get us down. It was 26.70 down to 26.44, down about $26. And now it's coming back up. All the buying, 26.60, silver, 31.63. I just want to check a line here. On the Alabama Georgia game, we've seen the line go from Georgia -2 to Georgia -1, and I'm interested in what it's at now. And also the Miami game. Well, I don't know if there's weather or not. I'm not seeing it in tonight's Miami game. Let's see. Fucking Bama. Just 1 second. 14.62, I believe. We do have one Alabama -1. It's Georgia -1, -1, but BetMGM has Alabama -1. Over under is 49.5. I think we did see a 50 at one point. All right, just curious. Want to know what to do with that game. I'm also looking to see how the weather's affecting it with all this hurricane. All right. So I watched the little Mark McGuire today. It was horrible. The guy, I don't even know what it is. He's not really an economist. There's a new Egon one. He's got some I've never heard of this type of economist. He's a French guy. I think he's a Keynesian. I'm watching it going, what the fuck's this guy talking about? Nothing made sense to me. He doesn't know what he's talking. He's just, I don't know. They don't realize the dollar's going out. It's just amazing how stupid they are. Let's watch you guys. We'll get into that.
What really determines the gold price in the long run is the money supply, the amount of destruction of paper money. Remember, the world has value all assets in dollars or other currencies, which is really ridiculous because everything looks better than it is. You value what you're worth for your shares or your gold, whatever it is, for your house in a currency that goes down by the day, whether it's the dollar or the pound, the yen, the euro. It serves no purpose. It would be better to value them in chickens or cows or bushels or whatever it is, something more stable value. So we're kidding ourselves by valuing in a currency that is going down constantly. What really determines the gold price in the long run is the money supply.
Yeah. Well, that's what we talk about all the time here. Is
what really determines the gold price.
Yeah, we got it. So that's what we always talk about here. We're way ahead of these guys. So yeah, we realize that the gold is gold doesn't need to be priced in dollars. Everything else does. value of your house, the value of your car is strictly valued in dollars in somewhat of a free market. So somebody buys your house or you sell it for what the market will bear. So it's pretty consistent. But what he's saying is, but why do we choose dollars to value it in? Because they don't want to choose gold because they can't manipulate gold and print it to death. They can only do that with dollars or euros. So that's what we know. It'll go to zero in dollars because dollars won't have a value. That's what's going to happen. These guys, Mark McGuire's guy, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Well, it'll take a while for the dollar. No, nobody likes the dollar. That's why nobody buys the T-bills. And yes, there's competition called brics gold-backed currency for the dollar. What the fuck? This guy is absolutely fucking clueless. I didn't even. It's this guy here, Daniel. Fuck these commercials. Shut up.
Something crazy with it.
So this is Mark McGuire's today. You can see I didn't like it. Here's my comments on it. Next time, get an Austrian economist who speaks English like me, like the professor. This guy is clueless. It will be a fast collapse once brics goes gold. What a waste of time. Shake my head. I had to get a Bobby, shake my head in. And at first I did another Keynesian, I assume. This guy's a professor. Well, very rarely are we professors at a college. We don't waste time there, us Austrians. So it's a really stupid, it's a real stupid show. Basically, nobody, what this guy misses, so what we'll clean up is the dollar's going out. It has no value. Why is this such a hard concept to understand? Do you not believe it? Do you never seen a currency go out, even though every fiat currency not backed by gold has gone out? And so he seems to think, well, it'll take a while and they'll keep it going because the West is on the fiat currency. No, as soon as BRICS comes out with the gold-backed currency, you're dumping the dollar for the gold back, for the BRICS currency. Nobody wants the dollar. Why would these people want the dollar? It's not worth anything. Now, yes, all the goods will be priced at zero. That's what'll happen. And it's just normal because it won't be worth anything. You can't just keep printing and expect the value of the dollar to go. That's insanity. You know, he's like, well, look at Japan. Well, look at Japan. What about Japan? Japan's currency is worthless. It takes what? $1 buys you 180 yen. Like, oh, that's a good currency. You know, it just doesn't work. When there's no demand, there's no value. And there's no demand, that makes it no value. Fuck, I don't want to play a game. So there's no value to it. That's why we get gold. So then he starts talking about getting your money out of the bank, all the shit we've talked about for a year already. You can't leave your money in the bank. Some guy had gold in the bank and they wouldn't let him have it. Some people have money in the bank, they won't let him have it. Yes, we know. It's called a bail-in. And yes, that's why you don't leave your money in the bank and you don't leave your gold in a bank safety deposit box. You can't get it out. And when the bank's about to lose everything, they're going to steal all your money as opposed to them losing it because they won't. All the banks are going out because, again, if the banks aren't getting the loan money in, then they can't pay out the people who have the savings in the banks. So you put 100 grand in the bank, you get 3%. They take your 100 grand and they loan it out and get 6% for it, 7%. They get the 7% in each month for a loan. They give you your 3, they keep 4. That's how the banks are. That's their revenue. Or their other revenue is to take your 100 grand and we don't trust the loans. We're going to buy T-bills, or they should put it in the gold, but we're going to get T-bills at a higher percentage rate. So they need to either loan out your money at higher than 3%, or put it in an account where they can get more than 3%, because they got to give you your 3%, but they got to make profit. And so the profit's made by the percentage over what they have to pay you on your savings. All the banks are collapsing because people can't afford their loans. They're not paying their loans back. So the banks are going to collapse. But before they collapse, they're going to take your money. You know what, that 100 grand you got? Yeah, you're not getting it. We need it because we got to pay our bills. And our bills get paid first. Just like the real estate trust and all those movies, the Big Margin Call, and the one with Jeremy Irons from what is it? Die Hard 3. All these movies were about the mortgage people who they gave the loans to couldn't pay the mortgage back because they didn't have credit and they should never have gotten a loan in the first place. But because that's the problem, this is everybody with money in the bank got screwed, like our Attack on Wall Street guy who lost his 60 grand. That's because they weren't getting paid for the real estate trust. So they fucked them and they said, well, we're going to sell them all and that's it. And then nobody's going to pay them. And this poor guy loses 60 grand. Who cares? It's to save our company, right? Isn't that what Home Alone guy said? It's to save our company. We don't care about our customers. Now, you know why I am not in the banks? Never. I have a few grand in the bank to cover rent and stuff, and that's it. And the rest is just, it's in the safe, it's in the cards, it's in the gold. My diversification, I can't get hurt by the bank with this, right? And now I can go to the coin store and sell it. He'll take it in 2 seconds. He'll give me spot for it. And that's fine. And then I'll get it. And if I get cash, otherwise I get a check, I'll go to the bank and cash the check. Not a problem. I got a check in for, if I sell an ounce of gold, I get a check in for $26.70 or $26.60. Okay, fine. And off I go. Then I get the money, goes in the safe. But I don't really want to sell my gold for dollars unless it's an expense I need or a vacation or something like that. But what people are missing is, what is inflation and what are the banks going to do? Get your money out of the bank. Your stocks are going to crash. And nobody, it's a disbelief. Well, no, that's not going to happen to us. It'll never happen. So anyway, we talked about inflation yesterday. What is it? Again, it's the printing of the money. Again, this guy on Mark McGuire seemed to have very, very confused about it. There's a lot he didn't quite, well, he teaches and he writes books. Well, so what? Does he? I don't write a book. I teach class. You're in my classroom now. I don't need to write a book for you to understand what the fuck's going on. So we will see what's going on. But that's it. They start talking about CPI. We don't care about the CPI. As we've said, the prices aren't even accurate. You can't use prices to measure inflation. So what's the point of looking at a CPI? It's government data that they finesse. So it's not real. We don't care about unemployment. We don't care about the CPI. All we really care about is the money. We care about the money supply. As you fuck it up and print too much of it, it's worthless. You fuck everybody over. All the other stuff doesn't matter. They waste their time on CPIs and unemployment. And he was talking CBDCs. They won't happen. Then he kind of said, well, the way they'll get you into CBDCs is to get you into, we'll give you a better rate if you go with the central bank. It doesn't matter. It's in dollars. Don't ever forget that. It's all in. If it's a CBDC, it's in this, and this is toilet paper. Don't get out of your gold for CBDCs. You don't want to be in CBDCs. You won't have to. You'll still be able to be in the bank. He's talking about negative interest rates. Who gives a fuck? We're not in it for interest rates. It doesn't matter. We don't have any money in the bank. We don't care about interest rates. We don't have any money in the stocks. We don't care about interest rates. We don't care that all the foreigners are going to pull their stocks and pull their money out of the bank. We don't care about that because we're out of the system. All that is Titanic he's talking about. And it's all bullshit. The Titanic, it's all the paper money, the stocks, the bonds. We've gone over it a few times. So just realize that that's what's happening. And so we're out of it. We got our gold, we got our silver, we got our Rolexes or our Mantle cards. That's our diversification. We're out of the system. We have nothing to worry about. We don't care about CPI. We don't care about unemployment. We don't care about the banks holding our money because we don't have any money for them to hold. We don't have gold at a safety deposit box in a bank. We're smarter than that. We're fine. We are perfectly fine. If prices go up, but the silver and the gold's going up nicely. The silver needs to start moving, and then that'll offset the price increases. So that's why we need that. So up to $500-$600 an ounce. Then we go with the quarter ounce and we're fine. There won't be barter. You'll just use your silver. And I believe this will be quick. I think once people realize the dollar's worthless, it's over. Once BRICS comes out with the gold-backed currency, I think it's over. I don't know how much longer it's going to last after that. He seems to think a long time. He's out of his fucking mind. Once people get a sip of COMEX, of BRICS, and they all 159 countries want to join, who's buying the dollar? So he's trying to say, well, look, everybody still wants the dollar. Nobody wants the dollar. Nobody cares if it's a reserve currency, if it's bankrupt. That's what you need to understand. And again, a worthless dollar is still a worthless dollar, right? It's still worthless. You printed it too much. Now it's lasting this long because people are still blindsided that it's worthless, right? That's the problem. People don't understand it's worthless. And therefore, they still hold it, but, I use it to pay off my credit cards and my rent. I got rent due the 2nd or 3rd or whatever. Okay, fine. I got money in the bank to cover the rent with bullshit money. And that's fine. That's the problem with it. They don't get it. But so the banks, you got to be careful if you get your money out. Stocks, you got to be careful to get your money out. So the guy with the $4 million, Luke's friend, and this 401k, not only is it worthless, but can he even get it out? Can you say, I want to take a withdrawal? And they're going to say, sorry, you can't. That's one thing he's not gonna like when the shit hits the fan and he realizes he can't get it. I got 4 million monopoly money. You've got to get out of the system's all corrupt, right? It's all, it's like the Matrix, right? It's all the Matrix. We took the pills, we're out of the Matrix, and we're buying gold and silver as fast as you can. But the people who didn't take the pills are still in the system going, I got my money in the bank and I got stocks because that's the way it used to be good and I'm okay. No, you're not, because you can't get it. Soon the shit's hitting the fan with BRICS. And when it does, and there's no time limit. It could be October 23rd. We could be out of money. It could go till Christmas and then we'll be out of money. I mean, it's hard to say. We're not sure, but that's what's happening. And so we will see, but that's the bottom line. So economics, we don't care about the consumer price index. That's why I don't talk about it. We don't care about it. It's misleading. Inflation is strictly printing the money, inflating the money supply, making the dollars worthless. It's funny, they'll say that, but they don't know that that's inflation. And then they keep calling it debasement. Well, you can only take the silver out of this. You can't take the gold and silver out of this because there isn't any in there. People are so stupid. Oh, it's debasement. No, it's not. It's not debasement. That's coins. That's taking gold out of coins. Not there's nothing in the dollar. But see, that's the point with like we don't care about prices because it's we don't know. The prices aren't real, right? Because you can try to do a price increase. Like I just went to the store, got some chicken, and they got a little 12 ouncer of Fago or 20 ouncer, and it went from 67 cents to 93 cents. Is that inflation? Yeah, I mean, my price went up. I could have chose not to buy it and said, no, not, but I was thirsty and it was 93 cents. Okay. The salmon. Okay. So I got salmon. It's been $20. I got it. It was $9.99. So I got a pound and a half. I was all excited. So I'll cook that tomorrow for dinner. And that's it. I mean, it's, is that deflation because the price went down? No. And he had crab legs at $35 or $39. He had them for $50, crab legs. And I kind of I joked with him going, yeah, I bet you're selling a ton of these. He said, we can't sell any of them. So the price went down to $39.99. And I joked with him again. I go, well, I bet you're not selling these. He says, no, but I mean, all week I don't see anybody buying. Who the fuck's going to pay $40 for crab legs? I don't even understand crab legs. I don't like the taste. I'd much prefer shrimp, or I'd much prefer salmon or swordfish steaks. I think they're swordfish. Yeah, the white. It's really tasty. I said, that's kind of what I'm looking at, not crab legs for $40. Are you kidding me? Now, is that deflation because the price went from 50 to 40? No. That's why you don't look at price. You can't look at price for inflation or deflation. Deflation is no such thing. This is the market saying nobody wants it for 50, it goes to 40. That's free market economics. That's not deflation because you couldn't sell it for 50. Now you're selling 40. It's not deflation that Toyota, the Camry, went from 24 to 35 and nobody wanted to buy it. And then you lowered the price to 27 is not deflation. The value of your items going down is because of the market, nobody demanding it. So if your house is worth less, it's because nobody wants to buy it because you've raised interest rates. It's the market at work. It's got nothing. It's deflation. There is no such thing. I mean, there's a term deflation, but it really is not prices going down or inflation going down. It's probably meant to be the money supply dropping, which should strengthen the dollar if you have less dollars. So more dollars makes the dollar worthless. So less dollars should make the dollar more valuable. So you're deflating the money supply. Because again, it's only inflation, deflation. It's only the money supply, and it's only inflation. So you printed, now you've got this huge debt. What are you going to do with this huge debt? What, you think that's just going to happen and there's no problem and the value of the dollar is going to have a value because you've got this huge debt and everything else? It's ridiculous. Mm-mm. So that's a big problem. With it is the all the problems that it's the money printed, devaluing the money, making the money worthless. You're inflating the supply. It makes it worthless. That's it. You don't measure it by prices. So prices are trying to say, you know what, the dollar, look, the prices are going up because the dollar won't buy as much. So therefore, this is how much inflation. I don't buy it, and it certainly isn't year over year. If Coke goes up to $3 and then stays at $3, doesn't mean inflation went away. You need to look at it maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, That's why I bring up 1971, and a house was $4,500, and now it's 500,000. Oh no, a house was 25,000. Now it's 500,000. Gold was $32. Now it's 26.60. It just takes more dollars to buy it. Plus, gold, the demand is raising the price. So they still don't get it. Gold goes up because of demand. Period. All the central banks are buying it. That's why gold's going up. That's it. That's the only reason. The dollar is not worth anything less because it can't be, because it's not worth anything. So Mark McGuire, don't waste your time with, please. It was stupid. There's some more job layoffs. Let's see. See, here's an old one. It's not old, but you know, uh, it's over. BRICS currency 40% could be tied to gold. Yeah, 40% is tied to gold. They act like that's a new thing, which we already knew about. And yeah, it'll affect the gold price to go higher, which makes the dollar go lower. Let's see. Here's Wells Fargo doing layoffs. There was a few others, IBM. There was some new ones today. I don't know why it's not showing me my history. See here, it's more trillions than that. China just sold 3.7 billion in U.S. Treasuries. It's like they sold like 7 trillion. There's the official and the unofficial. Yeah. I don't know. Where are my ones I watched? Well, there was another. Maybe I didn't watch it. No, I don't know. Anyway, so be very careful. If you do have money in the bank, get it the fuck out. Buy a safe. Put it in the safe. Put it in the gold. Put it in the silver. And then you're free. You don't have worries because they don't know you have it. As Andy Scheckman, I shared with you, nobody knows you have it. Nobody does anything when you buy gold and silver. It doesn't go anywhere, right? So it's not like they tell the government, "Oh, the professor just bought 5 ounces of gold." Doesn't move. So nobody knows you have it. So don't worry about it. Nobody can take it from you. I hate when they say, "Well, in 1930, FDR, well, great. That's not what's going to happen now. Totally different. CBDCs, the banks will never allow it to happen. And these guys, I don't like the fiction of, well, maybe this will happen, or FDR did do that, so what? So it's more likely he's going to do it again. Nobody has gold here. Why would anybody do it? So the biggest thing is, again, why do I know this and most people don't? Because they don't teach it anymore. I teach this because nobody teaches Austrian economics because the government doesn't want it being taught. They don't want you to know about gold. They don't want you to know what inflation really is. So they don't teach it to you. So they don't allow it to be taught. If I went back to my school, they teach Keynesians now. They don't teach Austrian. So I think only Hillsdale College might teach it, but nobody else teaches Austrian economics. So when people ask me, well, how did you learn it? Well, because I took it in 95 when I think by 90, by maybe 2000, it's not taught anymore. And so people don't get it. It's not taught. It's strictly like a relic. They don't want you to know. And so it becomes very difficult. So when I start explaining it, like this guy on Mark McGuire says he's like some weird economist. He's like a international economist. What the fuck does that mean? Either you're a Keynesian and you want communism and socialism and government to run the markets, or you're an Austrian. You want free market economics, Adam Smith, invisible hand. That's it. There's one and there's two. These other type of economics are not real. They're not. I don't know what the fuck they are. They're just calling themselves economists. They're not. You're either one or the other. There's only two, and you're either one or the other. So when they call, I'm an international economist. So what the fuck does that mean? When I go to Italy, I'll be an international economist all of a sudden? So this guy was from French, kind of hard to understand, kind of didn't make any sense. He would make assumptions that didn't hold water, and I don't like when Mark McGuire, so what do you think of gold? Well, fuck, Mark, we know what you think of gold. That'd be like me having a guest going, Jimmy, what do you think of gold? We don't give a fuck what Jimmy says. We give a fuck what the professor says. That's what I hate about sports talk radio now. I'm in the car and there's a guest. So you're listening to the guy who you don't care about anyway, talking about the Lions or the Tigers. And then Steve calls up. What do you think, Steve? I don't give a fuck what Steve thinks. I don't give a fuck what the host thinks. I only give a fuck what professor thinks. So I just, it's so stupid. Anyway, so 7:00 is college football class, 8:00 pro. I'm still getting a no-show from this guy. He emails me, I want to learn. And then last Monday, he doesn't show, but he does show Friday. Okay, we're going to meet Monday. If you can't make it, email me. He doesn't email me. Are we doing it tonight? He doesn't. What kind of people are this? I'm charging him $25 to learn how to bet football games. And you could have the courtesy of at least saying, I'm not interested or I'm busy. Last time it was, I didn't work, so I got busy. You didn't have email on your phone? You're the only person in America who doesn't have email on his phone? And then we did the class Friday, and then, okay, where are you? Why can't you respond? It's almost 6:00 now, which is 3:00 LA. So either you're working or you're not. What are you doing? Are you drunk out of your mind and you don't know, you don't know what day it is? I mean, anyway, I'm if I don't hear soon, I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm not gonna, I'll start not responding. Otherwise, I do have the college class. I know Alex wants it at 7 to 8, and anybody else is welcome for $25. We'll do a Zoom. Get all the picks in that. A lot of good picks this week. A lot of good games. What do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 14 games, and I got I got 4 locks, and then probably 3 or 4 pro locks, which I'm waiting on injuries and weather. The Miami game hasn't shifted. It's still 17:54.5. It's 6 o'clock. So I guess Miami's not getting hit. And UCF, I'll just look at today. I tried calling my friend in Florida going, what's going on? But he's busy, I guess. Didn't answer his phone. I'll keep trying him. And so there's really the Tampa Bay Bucks home game and the UCF are the really Alabama, Georgia might. I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue. We will see. But I'm waiting. If Alabama's favorite, I'm going to take Georgia. Right now, I played the game, but I like Georgia as the dog better than I like Alabama as the dog. So we will see. So anyway, that's free market economics. Gold, it'll break 2,700. Again, if you have 50 ounces, every $100 goes from 25 to 26. You just made $5,000. Goes to 27, you just made 10 grand. So why people don't think it's an investment, I don't know. They don't know what an investment is, apparently. And then all these people that think you've got to be in the stock market or in the banks or in real estate. I was talking to a guy in the pool today about real estate. He says, yeah, it sounds like Bobby. I own all these houses and I'm renting them out. And he lost a ton because people wouldn't pay. There'd be damage. There'd be property taxes. People would move out. He'd have to clean it up. So there's all these extra costs and cleaning, people moving out, not getting a renter. You bought the house, so you got this mortgage on it, and you're hoping people rent it from you to pay your mortgage off. Well, that's silly. You got to make money on the mortgage, but that's expensive. So I'm saying just buy gold. And then there was this thing on buying a big bar versus ounces. I don't remember which when I was watching. And so the guy says, you want to buy 100 ounces instead of 100-ounce bar, because this way you can spend the ounces, go to the grocery store, spend one. I'm like, well, yeah, you can get the bar cut. So if you have a big bar of silver or hopefully gold, you can get it sliced down and turned into coins. You don't need to keep it as a big bar. Now, the big bar is much cheaper because you can't, you got a 100-ounce bar, it's a lot of money. So really, you're just going to sell it, right? You're not going to use it as money. That's why you get these. So you get this to go to Kroger's and say, here, I want to buy milk and eggs. Not this big bar. You're kind of, so you got to, well, what you do, they use a saw and they slice it down and then turn it into coins. And I mean, if somebody gave me a big bar, I would turn it into coins. I would go to my coin guy, how much does it cost to make these into ounces? And he'd tell me, or even if they're 5 ounces. I have a few 10 and 5 ounces, which are fine. No, they're convenient. 10 ounces. It's $350 right now. So, and it's a little thing. You stick it in your pocket. So that's fine. Because, at this point you need it. But when it hits $500-$600 an ounce, that'll be $5,000-$6,000. That'll be a lot of money. But don't kid yourself. The dollar is worthless and going out. It's got the thought from 1971 is it's the trust of the government, but not now. There is no trust in the government. The dollar's gone. All right. And when BRICS comes out, the dollar could be gone then. So I don't know what this guy's talking about on Mark McGuire. It mystifies me that he brings this guy in and he's France. And he wrote a book and he teaches at some college. And as soon as I heard that, I go, oh, he's a Keynesian. And, big shit if you wrote a book. How many books could we write with me, right? 20? But because I didn't write a book doesn't make me not as smart as if I wrote a book. I should write one on what is inflation because nobody seems to know. So anyway, don't pay attention to prices as far as what inflation is. It's the money supply being printed, and it is it's basically worthless. So the real question, how does it end, is people don't want the dollar. People think it's good, but when you look at it, just look at the $36 trillion debt. So you're a millionaire in Germany. Do you want dollars? Well, there's $36 trillion debt, and they keep printing it, So once they become aware it's worthless is when they start dumping, like what China, I showed you. China dumped $7 trillion, and Japan's dumping the dollars, and everybody who's going in is bankrupt is dumping dollars because they want gold and they don't want dollars because the dollar they know is worthless. So when people, it's outside. See, this is the Titanic sinking, right? It doesn't sink. It doesn't like boom, it sunk. It's slowly going under, and that's what this is. This is slowly going under. But we understand the main plot. It will go to zero, and everything in dollars will go to zero, and the dollar will go to zero. So you need to find the alternate medium of exchange. Basically, that's what this is. That's the medium of exchange that's worthless. The gold and silver are medium of exchanges that have value. That's all it is in simple terms. Why is this medium of exchange losing value? Because they're printing the shit out of it. Not because price is going out, printing the shit out of it. So it makes the value worthless. And that's what the inflation is. The more you print, the less the dollar's worth. That's why they don't just print $37 trillion, because then it would be a mess. You wouldn't pay the debt off because nobody wants it. You think China's going to, oh, well, wait, let me print 37 trillion and pay you, China, Japan, Taiwan, whoever else has the bonds. They don't want dollars. So slowly what happens is the demand for dollars goes away. Everybody wants gold and silver. And if nobody wants, as I say, if nobody wants my Canadian club, it's worthless. And that's the bottom line. So it becomes worthless because nobody wants it. Nobody wants the 60-year-old at the end of the bar. They wanted her when she was 20. Now she's 60, and we're all looking at the 20-year-old, and nobody wants the 60-year-old. So we're all looking at this, but we're all like, no. We want the hot 20-year-old. We don't want the 60-year-old. And that's exactly what's happening now. It is what's happening, and it's going to zero. And yet people just won't acknowledge it. Oh no, the dollar's fine. I'm fine in the dollar. My bank's fine because it hasn't collected. They haven't bailed me in where I can't get my money out. Okay, well, good for you. And so they have no thought of what could happen. It's like the Lions with the 4th and 2. They only see, I'll go for it because it's a 51% chance I'm going to make it. Those are good odds, and so I will go for it. But what they don't see is if they don't make it, they lose the game. So if they saw it on those terms, I make a first down at my 40, which gets me absolutely nowhere, or if I don't get it, I lose the game. And they don't want to look at the risk and reward of going for a 4th down. So we bring that. I got $1 million in the bank. I don't want to look at the fact that I might not be able to get it out and the fact that the dollar won't be worth anything. I don't want to look at that. I only want to look at I'm getting 4% interest. That's all I want to look at. And I got $1 million in the bank, even though it's not worth anything. And this is what these economists, like the guy on Mark McGuire today, fails to understand. It has no value. The guy's clueless. He's talking the Fed rate cuts. Who gives a fuck what the Fed rate is? The money's worthless. It all comes back to the money being worthless. It's like, I don't want to say that. It's just worthless. So therefore, It doesn't matter the peripheral, the interest rates or the unemployment rate. It's all bullshit. But the money doesn't have a value. And it's gone. And the only thing can save you is gold and silver. That's it. We don't have to go into this whole explanation of interest rates. We don't give a fuck. And it doesn't affect, what the Fed does not affect housing and car interest rates at all. They are done by the market. So the fact that the Fed lowers rates is not going to help the car companies, because those interest rates are tied to inflation, aren't going down. It's not like prime plus 5. I mean, it might be, but if the prime goes down a half, they can make, it's prime plus 5.5. I mean, easy enough. I might venture and buy some more silver tomorrow. Just because, I mean, it hasn't quite gone yet. So it's $31.63. So I can still get it at about $33, $34 an ounce. I have no fear of it going down any lower than 30. Even if it does, it's just a matter of time till it's in triple digits. Gold, I think it's closed. Now the market should be closed. 26.58. Yeah, the market's closed 26.58. So I would say Sunday night it's back into the 26.70s and 80s, because that's the European people doing it. Let's see. All right. So I think I'll buy another 20 ounces of silver. Not because I don't have a lot. It's just because I know it's going to go up. I mean, how do you not buy? This is where I get blown away by people. They'll be in the stock market because it's artificially priced, but in silver, we know is low because it's derivative. And we know the demand's there for the solar panels, and because it's money, and as gold gets more expensive. So it's amazing how many people don't understand COMEX, gold, or silver, and then they don't understand how it's used in solar panels. And then they'd rather be in the stock market that's manipulated, that even if they do well, can they get their money out, versus going to buy silver and gold that's way, way undervalued. It's mind-boggling. But I mean, if you know that this ounce of silver is going to 500 and it's at 30, no matter how much you have, isn't it worth buying more? Because it's an over. You know what's going to happen. It's like me, on one of my locks, I know what's going to happen. Like Army, I had Army yesterday. I knew Army was going to win. All right. So I played Army and they won, and I knew they were going to win. I mean, it was a very easy pick. And so why it doesn't really make sense. It's sort of like silver. I know silver is going to go up, so why not buy more? So if I know Army is going to win, why not bet it? But if I know silver and gold are going up, why not bet them? Why not get some more because they're $30 an ounce. If you know it's going to 500 and it's at 30, I don't have any clue why you wouldn't just keep buying it. Now I got a lot, but gold's getting a little high, so I can buy more and more. So but I bought a lot of silver because of that. So I've already kind of in the silver game. And I looked at my Highland Mint, Michael Jordan's and Barry Sanders, the silver coins that Highland Mint made in the 90s. And they all say 999 silver. So I'm like, okay. But they're worth more because they are like Michael Jordan is not worth $30. It's worth like $100. Kobe Bryant's worth like $150. So they're kind of half collectibles and half because they're silver. They were $16 an ounce. I remember paying for those. So it's funny, when I started this, I had 37 of them, and I said, well, I don't need silver. I got 37 of them. Now I got like 650 silver, including those. And it's just funny how I wasn't going to get any, but I'm glad I did. And, so like I say, with gold, every $100, if you got 50 ounces is $5,000. If it's 100 ounces, it's $10,000. So can you imagine you got 100 ounces of gold, goes up $100 from 24 to 2,500. You just made 10 grand. And it's a kind of a weird investment. You don't want to sell them. Even though they're now worth more, you don't want to sell them unless you have to. You don't want to sell them because it's still so cheap. 2,500 or 2660. It's a $10,000 an ounce item. Silver is going to be at least 1,000, I think, too. And I love when people argue with you. No, it won't. It's only gone 50. Yeah, that's paper. It's manipulated, but it's going to break the manipulation, because when the dollar goes out, the dollar can't go out. It's the world reserve currency. Who gives a fuck? You can't print 150 trillion of them and then $1 trillion every quarter for your stupid interest. And how much is going to the military for the defense? How much goes to the Ukraine? Where do you think they get that money? That's just printed. Just 600 billion, I think, or 60 billion to Ukraine. Where they get the money? They just printed it. It's a joke. You can't just keep printing and nothing will happen. Only an idiot can think like that. That's why all the currencies in the whole world have always gone to zero because of that. What else? Competition's a big thing. So again, it's the dollars had no competition. That's why it's the reserve currency. But they're using it to bully everybody. So nobody wants it anymore. We need competition. And Russia said, look, we're tired of being sanctioned. China's tired of being sanctioned. We'll come out with this to compete. And you know what? This and gold are the monopolies. These are the real monopolies because nothing can compete with them because they're limited. That's the point of gold and silver. It's you can't print it, right? You go to the coin store and you go, is this real? He'll check it for you. You can say yes or no. That's why I only buy from the guy, because I know his stuff's good. His stuff's real. I know they're real. I don't have to worry about it because I know when he gets it in, he checks it. He says, yep, this is real. And then he puts it on display. And then I come in and buy it knowing, well, he's already checked it. Because he doesn't want to take bad silver or bad gold either. So people come in, he's not about to take it. Anyway, that's the only real monopoly. And competition covers itself. That's the invisible hand effect. If you have competition, you don't need anything else. Because if Team A fucks you over, then Team B says we won't. And Team A is now covered by Team B. So if I go with Canadian Club, then I got Seagram's and I got Black Label and I got Dewar's. So if I fuck up, you're going to buy those. So I better be competitive and sharp and have a good price and a good taste, because I got to compete with these guys. That's the beauty of competition and free market. You want the competition because they'll clean each other out. You don't need to worry. because if you screw it up, everybody will know and everybody will go to the other brand. And that ends it. So you've got to be competitive, which means you got to be better price, better quality. And that's why it's so successful. It involves price and quality. And government doesn't do that. Government says you're going to buy the Canadian whiskey. That's what you got to buy, and it tastes like shit, but there's no competition for it. Keep your eye on competition. When there's competition, prices are lower, quality is good. We win. The market, the economy, we win. We're the market. And when, like I said, with the crab legs at $40 a crab leg or a pound or whatever he's selling it for, you gotta be out of your fucking mind. What was my competition? I got salmon at $9.99 a pound. I got salmon instead of the crab legs. Why do I need crab legs? So the competition, you got a restaurant at MGM downtown Detroit, and their restaurants are very expensive. Guess what? There's competition. I can stop at the barbecue and get dinner there and then go to the casino instead of eating at the casino. Are these people that stupid? These businesses that think there's no competition or that you won't leave? Where I get my meat and fish, all the other items are super expensive, so I don't buy them there. Ketchup, or I don't buy ketchup anymore. Miracle or salad dressing, or my veggies, broccoli and cauliflower. I don't buy them there. Why should I spend $6 on something that's $3 at Meijer's? I don't need to spend more. It's a fucking broccoli. There's nothing you're going to do to it that makes it okay. Maybe it's organic versus not. Okay, but so you're organic 6 and they're organic 3. Why would I spend $3 more? Convenience, because I'm in the store and I won't drive to Meijer's. Hate to break it to you, but Meijer's is on my way home and basically a mile away from my house. So yeah, I would stop at Meijer's for it. So a lot of that stuff. Anyway, anything else? Comments? Questions? Nothing? Big week in football. If you're interested, it's a good week to buy. Like I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 college locks. I already have one pro lock posted, and then I'm going to post some more pros. I'm just waiting on the weather, and I'm waiting on some injuries to be kind of like, is Russell Wilson all of a sudden or Jordan Love all of a sudden playing? And if they're not, then I go into action. But I'm just being careful in case they do play, then I got to make a different bet. So it's stuff like that. I don't need to bet tonight, but I will bet it. I'll give it one more day. I was watching Les Miserables flash mobs, and they do it at weddings. And so the guy's doing a speech, and then he says, it's like one more day or one day more. And people out of the crowd just start singing and dancing Les Miserables songs. They do it, the flash mobs. I guess they were more popular before, but I just kind of discovered them. So you could be at a mall or you could be at, any place, and all of a sudden people who are just like shoppers come up and start singing. But it's Corey, they're supposed to, and then they're like 20 people join in that are part of the group, and they start singing, and they sing whatever, Les Miserables or the Die Hard theme or something like that. It's pretty cool. And I look at the crowd, and they're all like, "Oh my God, they're singing Les Miserables," and it's so good. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, don't know what else. Ukraine war, it's never going to end because they don't want it to end, because we can't let Russia have minerals that are theirs. So stupid. So that's why we're going broke. Wars are expensive, and there's no revenue in a war. You don't get paid unless you're selling the weapons to the countries, but we're not. We're selling it to the Ukraine, but we're giving the Ukraine money. So here's 600 billion, and then you pay it. Then you pay that to our defense contractors. Yeah, but we gave them the money, so it's not like they paid us. Is it a loan? You'll never see the money. They're not. It's not a loan. So that's kind of what I think they're trying to do is say, hey, we'll give you the money and then you buy our missiles from us. But hopefully it ends soon. This is really ridiculous. It's frustrating for me for Jenna when I'm going to meet her. She's got to train 20 hours to get to Warsaw. And then she can fly from Warsaw to, where we're meeting. And then she flies back, and then she's got to take this 20-hour train back. It's a pain in the ass instead of this airport that's a half hour from her house, just taking a cab to the airport, getting on a plane, going to Warsaw, and then going to our meet. Very, very frustrating. Anyway, so that's about it. So a lot of football this weekend. Gold we see. BRICS October 22nd. We cannot compete with BRICS. Nobody wants the dollar. The dollar has no value. Now, you have to understand that on your own with me telling you that, because they're not going to, what do you think ABC or MSNBC is going to tell you? Oh, the dollar, it has no value. No, you're only going to hear it from somebody like me who actually understands it has no value because nobody wants it. In all these countries, there's 159 want to join BRICS to get out of the dollar. How the fuck does the dollar have a value when nobody wants it? Here, I don't know how long it'll stay, but it's not worth anything. So you can have it, but it's not worth anything. And in Germany, they wallpapered their walls with it. Anyway, so that's it. Inflation's printing the money to death, not prices. And there's the debasement. You debase coins, you don't debase dollars. The dollars are called inflation. You inflated the money. It's worthless. All right, everybody. I think I got a class at 7, so I'm going to get ready for that. Anything else? Any questions, comments? Please feel free. All right. So that's economics today. Gold, we're getting close to 2,700 to 28 to 3,000 soon. I don't know if it was, maybe it was the options expire. Usually it's the third Friday of the month, or maybe the fourth Friday or Thursday. So I think that was yesterday. So anyway, going forward, we shouldn't see too much down. So we should see 2,800 next week. I think it's 26 change, 27, 28. Anyway, chat's disconnected, but they'll reconnect it. That's just a YouTube thing. Anyway, I think that's about it. So have a good day. If you want to join the football class, just go to teaserking.com and sign up for it. It'll say YouTube classes, college or pro, or just buy the picks or buy the locks or whatever you want. And that's it. So have a nice night. Have a good weekend. Go Georgia, beat Bama. And we'll go from there. All right. Have a good night. I probably won't do economics on the weekend because of football. I do a football class from 10 to 12 Eastern time, which you're more than welcome to bring up economics in it. I don't care. Normally, I used to just do one big class. So now it's a little more tiring doing the second because I do the one and then I go swim and I eat and then I'm tired like I am now. But I got the 7 o'clock class. So we'll go from there. All right. Have a good night. Good luck. Have a good weekend. www.teaserking.com.